Welcome to Focus on Business, a podcast show for photographers with me, your host, Jane Goodrich. I'm talking to successful photographers so you can learn from our experiences and have the business of your dreams. So join us and let's focus on business. Hi, and welcome to the show, Focus on Business, especially for photographers. And I am so excited to have the fantastic Tyler Cunningham. She is an amazing portrait event photographer that really specializes in storytelling and the power of images. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Jane. I'm so excited to be here. It's a real treat. And I've watched so many of your episodes that I feel like we're best friends already. So I'm just appreciative of what you're doing. And it's serving not only the new photographers, I'm sure, but, I've been in the business for a while and I've gained so much from it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. We'll tell our audience a little bit more about you. And I will put her website in the show notes because her work is absolutely amazing. And I'm very inspirational. But we're talking business, Jane. So let's talk a little bit about who you are and what got you into photography.
Thank you. So my name's Tyler Cunningham. I am a photographer based in Raleigh, North Carolina. I started my photography business in 2006. It was part-time sort of side hustle. My career was in nonprofit development and fundraising. I studied photography though, and it was always a creative passion for me. And in about 2017, 2018, I started feeling a pull to sort of lean into that side of myself. And so it took a couple of years for my husband and I to get our financials in a place that we could begin this sort of entrepreneurial journey. And so late 2019 made the transition. And starting in January of 2020, we're pursuing the growth of this business. And then 3 months later, the world shut down with a global pandemic. And so it felt like everything that we had planned was going up in flames. And it was really a scary time, but forced to really just kind of look internally. And so I took the camera and started documenting my family's journey through quarantine. And in that process, it was really sort of eye-opening for me because I learned the power of the in-between moments, those moments where the subject didn't necessarily know they were being photographed. I mean, my kids didn't know that I was photographing them while they were having a guitar lesson on Zoom. And the power of that was kind of a pivotal moment for me. And so when the world started opening back up again, and I was, again, kind of launching this business and people were trying to build their online presence again through website redesign and LinkedIn updated profiles, I sort of knew my why. And my why was in trying to tell the story of who the subject is, whether they're a senior getting captured or a milestone event or a branding shoot. It was, how can I frame this story through images? And so now we've just been sort of guns a-blazing since then.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that story. And I love how you transitioned there. I mean, I don't love the fact that you started in, right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I think, you used the time well, I will say, to fine tune your creative vision. If you were to go back and tap yourself on the shoulder and tell yourself to do a few things differently, would you do anything differently? I mean, apart from stopping COVID, but that's, we're not.
Yeah. Wouldn't we all? But, yes. I mean, certainly I think I could name handfuls of things that I would do differently. But I think that maybe the more powerful message, the more realistic advice for somebody would be that it's okay to make mistakes, that you're going to learn more from those mistakes than you're going to learn from the successes, or at least I did. And I think that it's part of the process. No matter how many Jane Goodrich podcasts we listen to be the best photographer we're going to be, it's still going to happen. And so I think recognizing that and figuring out a strategy for managing the things that you would do differently. So make the mistake once and say to yourself, how do I make sure I don't make this mistake again? I think that is probably, for me, the more realistic and powerful message.
I think certain ones are, like for me, it was boundaries. I wish I'd have told myself boundaries. Other people, pricing. I didn't understand pricing. But I love what you said about you're going to make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes, regardless of even if you summarize the laundry list of what the photographers on here say they would wish they would do, and you didn't do any of them, you're still going to do mistakes. But to learn from them, I love that. I didn't realize I was doing this till probably when I was doing this podcast is after every shoot, I would always write down what went well. Still, 14 years into it, I'm okay. That location was not the best for a 2-year-old. It should be for 5 to 6-year-olds. Every single shoot, what did I learn? Yeah, and well. And just so I can not make the same mistake again, I call it post-shoot mortem.
Yeah.
There's a post-mortem. But I just want to make sure that I'm constantly improving, or I had the wrong settings on that image, or that location was perfect. And I always like to say what went well, because I think that we always are hard on ourselves. Or how did I miss that person all shows up in stripy matching outfits and they didn't read my wardrobe guide? What? Right. I go back and in the emails, did I not send it? And, I automate everything. So what could I have done better to avoid that? So I added, do not wear matching stripe to my wardrobe guide. Go add something to your contract. Like, if, I feel uncomfortable, I will leave. You're in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you had to move, shall I give you a place to move to Hawaii? Do you want to? I most people to Hawaii. If you have to move to Hawaii in 3 months, what would you do for your business first?
I think I'd retire. I mean, we're done. We're done with this. So the practical thing is the SEO, optimizing all that. But I think for me, my business, it's so based in deep relationship and connection with my client. I think I first would give myself the grace of a year of knowing that it's going to take a while to build up a new base. And so let's not drop the former. I think I would schedule 4 quarterly shoots back in Raleigh. And so I would try and take care of the relationships that I had built for so long, and also have the stability of that income from those clients and begin that transition process. And then I think I would, again, go back to those same relationships. This world is so unbelievably interconnected now. And so I think I would work with those relationships to say, okay, who do you know in Hawaii? Will you make some introductions? What businesses would people have that might have offices in Hawaii? And I worked for decades to build up the relationships that I have here. And I think I would try and maximize those as much as possible.
I think that's one of the things that we miss a little bit. It seems so easy. I'm just going to take photographs and I'm going to become a photographer, but it is a lot of relationship building, and those relationships take time. Relationship for somebody to refer you constantly to their clients, it's going to take a while. They're not going to just refer them to nobody, and also giving yourself grace. And I think that that's one thing that I see a lot is quit your day job and I'm going to become a photographer, but without all the relationship building, your SEO building and all that stuff, it's going to take a while. There was a podcast, and she doesn't do it anymore. She's great, Gina, I forget her name, but she would say it takes 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, for me, 5 years was when in my fall season, I would just be booked with repeat clients, and I couldn't take any new clients from basically the end of August to like December. And I will say that that's good timing for where you feel comfortable and you know where your next client is going to come from, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And we just touched on it, but what is your favorite form of marketing? Do you have one if you had to pick?
So much of my marketing is word of mouth, but Instagram has been something I've focused on over the last year. Bit the bullet, hired a social media person. I mean, it's paid off in dividends. It really has. I mean, just being consistent, just having a consistent voice in front of people has been really important. But I recognize that I need to diversify that. And so we're working now on a newsletter, and I'm hopeful that that will then be kind of a monthly marketing and communication strategy to those that are super engaged in my audience. But yeah, right now it's predominantly, social media.
Yeah. And so you get clients from Instagram?
Yes. I mean, I think certainly I have some folks reach out directly through the app. I think more than anything, what I've seen, particularly in the last 8 months, is keeping me top of mind.
Yeah.
And so when somebody has a need, I think that I have been much more present in the person that they reach out to because they're seeing me all the time. And it is at a point in some cases where I want to unfollow myself, because those of us who are behind a camera, we're behind a camera for a reason often.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yes.
And so when I have to have my own branding images, it's a painful, cringy process, but we've looked at the numbers and I can see a direct correlation between when I started posting 3 times a week to when I was posting once a week, once every couple of weeks. And the business has grown exponentially since then. So
yeah, I think that that's a really interesting point of what you said. I'm keeping it top of mind. And actually, that's how I treated my Instagram account. I did get a couple of clients from Instagram, but it's top of mind awareness. I'm not going to do a million different things on it because I have my other channels that I do Google ads or my website ranking #1 and my email. I do love my email because I'm nurturing those great. So the inquiries, it's a little easier. For me, it's more of an easier return on investment. But one tip you just made me think of is I actually friend my clients on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And I had, it's not by any ingenuity or like creative thinking. I had my daughter in 2015, and I think everyone thought something was wrong with her because I didn't post any photos of her. I was just too tired. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Right.
So one day someone was, where's pictures of Emma? And I just literally took a picture of my phone and wrote Happy Monday from Emma. And then people were like, oh, cute. And then, I should post another picture of Emma. And I wrote Happy Monday because it was a Monday. And I just wrote Happy Monday from Emma in the next week. And then what happened was people were messaging me, where's my Happy Monday picture? It became a thing. I mean, honestly, it became a weekly thing.
Oh, that's precious.
It was precious. However, I have a lot of clients that are in my hometown, and then they would walk up to Emma and they're like, I feel like I know you. She's, who are you? And so then now she has a voice. She's 9. She's like, I don't want to be on Facebook.
Oh.
So now I can't do it. But I do think that having that connection where you are in their face nonstop, there's no way that they're going to go somewhere else when they just see me. And then they feel like that they know me as a human because people buy from people. Right? Yeah. So it's like a little bit more. You don't have to talk about your coffee or your Starbucks or this, that, and the other. You could just show what you feel like. Schlep your kid out there. No, I'm just kidding. Won't let me anymore. Anyway.
I think that it speaks to your authenticity in that space. And I think that's where it resonates with people, at least for me. I'm sure that's why the pictures of Emma were the ones that they were all coming back for, because they knew that those were really from you and your heart. And it wasn't manufactured and it wasn't perfectly curated. And so I think part of why it's been effective for me is similar in that I've tried to make sure my voice continues to stay really real. We're not always trying to show all the perfection, but we're showing, yesterday I had my assistant videotaping me in a shoot and I was climbing up on a stool and she was videotaping me from behind me. And there was absolutely nothing graceful or attractive about that shot. But I think I'm going to post that because this is real. And it's not always curated and perfect and beautiful.
I remember one time I was doing an overhead shot. This is when I was doing in-home sessions. An overhead shot of a baby on a bed. And for some reason, I just felt something behind me. And it was a grandma, I'm not joking, basically filming my butt. I thought it was I don't know where this is going to go, but please just don't film my butt. Anyway.
Yeah, or at least get the right angle.
I was on a bed. Like, this ain't no good angle.
No.
Anyway, she was short. And I was just like,
oh, that's bad.
You hired a social media person. What else have you outsourced? Because we do tend to take on everything as photographers, but realistically, a photographer, we use a camera. We take photographs. That is one job. Editing, another job. Social media, another job. Website design, another job. We do so many jobs.
Right.
You could be working 200 hours in
right.
a week.
Right.
It's 200 hours anyway. It's 200 hours anyway. Yeah, like 200 hours a week.
Right. No, I hear you. So it took me a long time to get to the point where I felt like I'm going to take myself seriously enough. You've got to invest in yourself. So now I outsource accounting. I'm not a numbers person. I outsource my social media. I outsource editing. I have a client management system. So technically there's some outsourcing there and automations. And I have assistants kind of come and go, nothing like consistently full time, but I bring people in and out. And so I outsource some admin stuff there. I mean, I still feel like with my work, I'm overseeing it all. I have a hand in all of those pieces, although the accounting, I don't oversee it all. I
really either. I think I had an accountant before I even opened my business.
Yeah. It's best.
I did. I was like, no way.
It's best for everyone if I stay completely out of that realm. But I've invested in myself. It allows me to spend my time doing what I think I do best, and that's building the relationship with the client and sort of capturing that story.
I think that that's a way of investing in yourself. But I also think it's a switch from taking it from I'm a photographer and I'm doing it on the side to actually I am going to run this like a business. Mm-hmm. Even if you do it on the side, you can really make your life so much easier by charging enough to outsource and then do the stuff that you love. Otherwise, it makes it a little bit of a grind. It's like a fun sucker. Yeah, fun sucker. I don't know why I like that word.
I love that word.
Basically, I think that if you can recognize that there are many different jobs and you don't have to do them all. I was speaking to somebody the other day and she was like, well, I'm learning website design. And I was just, why?
Right.
Could go and go on shoots and outsource it because they know what they're doing, especially SEO. SEO, I think for me would probably be the second one I would outsource because Google's changing all the time. Do we have time to figure it out? No.
Right.
I'm not going to be keeping up with Google algorithms, but somebody that's their job to do, you're going to really, really help. In your area, do you have seasonality? I mean, you have branding, families, corporate, like do you have any seasonality to your business or how do you cope with that?
Yeah, so the weather doesn't create as much seasonality as other areas. But I mean, my business, because it started with families, I do sort of micro weddings. That has some seasonality to it. But mostly, I feel like even with branding and things, people start thinking about photographs in the latter half of the year. So for years, my fall and leading into the holidays, I mean, by the time, the holidays come around, my family doesn't want to see me anymore because I'm so stressed out and burnt out. And so in the last year and a half, I have worked really hard to create a consistent schedule. And I've done that by sort of creating promotions and communicating with people to remind them of opportunities outside of that season. And so right now, like July, for example, I'm running a Christmas in July special. So if you book your family session for your holiday card, you get a discount. And I've got a number of bookings for that. They're tan, doing it right before sunset, so it's not as hot. And so I think it's just being intentional about encouraging people during traditionally slower times to think about those things. And it's worked. I mean, again, it's putting the messaging in front of people and allowing them to absorb it and then moving from there.
With family photography, I think, and this is because as people start, doing it for a longer period of time, I'm like, okay, can we get another season in your photo? These leaves are annoying me. Can we get another season, please? So, but as kids get older, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
So if they are babies, they are going to change from 6 months. But I will say, just as a tip, as people have older kids, they are more likely to do a summer shoot because they've done the fall shoots. Also, one other tip that I can't remember, I think it was when my sister's kids started being in sports in the fall. They're at that age, like 7, 8. I would say my message, I'd have an email out saying, before the fall craziness of sports, get your photo shoot done before the school madness starts. And so that August time where people are looking tan, everyone looks great, and send an email with a great, gorgeous summer photo shoot. And people are, oh yeah, I know sports season is crazy and I have 3 kids and they're all everywhere else and I can't get them on a weekend or after school because they're in practice. So when they're off school, and so it's just moving them. I do newborn, so that deseasonalizes it for me too. But I like your idea. And as you build your business, you really need to push people earlier and different types of shoots. So
yeah.
Let's not go with the fall. Let's do a
Right.
spring one this year.
Right. Right. And I think reminding them, so in whatever your marketing channels are, sharing the work that you do on a regular basis, not just waiting to share your family images in the fall, but to share them all year round or share branding images all year round. Again, I think, at least for me, being top of mind to people for whatever their needs are on a regular basis, they connect with that and they say, oh, I have to follow up with her because I need to get that done for myself. Yeah.
Again, this is something else I didn't realize I did until, what I will do is I'm on a shoot with somebody, especially my fall clients. You know what? Next year we should do spring. I have this perfect park for you. So, and May is perfect. So I'm going to remind myself to put it in the car. I basically tell them where the next shoot is going to be. Even if it's a family that's newer to me, this was perfect for your family, but I have a great location for you next year. I think we can do X, Y, Z. And this day is perfect in the weather. This is perfect. So I'm going to probably put you down for this one. And they'll, okay, yeah. All right. So I pencil them in. And then in January, I send them an invoice.
Well, that's so smart because
it's itself.
Yeah. And it makes them, right. And it makes them feel special. I mean, you've thought about a space for them that is going to really resonate. And so, I mean, that's beautiful. Yeah.
And you can do it if you have even a studio. I book up, but this weather seems great. We're doing outside. I'm going to pencil you in so we get that day. I want to make sure I get you that day. It's easy.
Yeah.
Right. And I hate sales.
Yes.
But like, if you talk about it in the sense of, oh, I just shot at this perfect location for us next time. They're like, okay. And the moms, okay, who isn't busy?
Right.
Who isn't busy? Stay-at-home mom's busy with 3 kids. Working mom's busy. We want somebody to troll.
Right.
Be like, okay, I'll do that next year. Yeah, sounds great. Just let me know. Parents like, well, can you send me links on wardrobe? Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
I tell you, whenever people tell me that it freaks them out that their phone is always listening to them because then it pops up ads for things it heard in conversation, I need all the help I can get. I mean, I am glad that there's somebody out there.
I am glad. And maybe it's the people that don't like it because they've got something to hide. Right. I don't have anything to hide. And you want to hear me talk about Paw Patrol and now I get videos for Paw Patrol? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Although I get, mainly it's like cameras that, and then I'm like, oh, I really need that. No, I don't need it. We talk about clients, been in business a long time. Do you have any red flags? You know, this is either going to be a really hard shoot or...
I do a consult call now, just a 10 to 15 minute consult call for prior to each session when a client reaches out. Past clients, new clients. I know some photographers feel like it's too much of a time commitment for them, but it's helped me. I've gone down so many paths of booking somebody at one price and then we get to the session and they ask for something in addition to that. And I'm stuck trying to figure out on the fly how to handle charging them extra for anyway. So I think that for me, it's a wonderful first kind of impression to have that conversation. For the new clients, I can get a feel. Your gut tells you real quick if this might not be a great match. But a specific red flag is when they're in a real hurry. They need the images yesterday. They need a quick family shot for a Christmas card, or they need just one LinkedIn picture. And I think I have recognized over time that the client that comes in with that sort of a need isn't on board with my process, that my process is connection. It's me sort of really seeing who they are and being able to translate that into images. And that takes a minute. Plus, it sort of devalues my back-end administrative process of having the time to get them a proposal and to have a contract signed and to get a deposit in before the session is scheduled, because I don't like to hold a date until I know that I have a financial commitment from a client. And so it devalues that whole process. So I think that's a big red flag. And I try and use that as education. So this to explain, so this isn't how my process works. And then if they sort of rear back from that, it's a pretty good idea that might not be the best fit.
I can actually see that because part of my deseasonalizing of my business is I also do headshots.
Yeah.
And some people need them for a press release right away. So if you're storytelling, more experience, and I mean, I still charge the same as it, but they just want the photo. That they want the one photo.
Right. Right.
But it's not the branding type, here's another question for you. What would be the best advice that you've ever been given? Apart from the quote that you have behind your desk, you can tell us.
I think it kind of does go back to being bold and being fearless and having confidence in yourself. You know, it takes a long time to feel like a photographer, that this is a career path, that you are legitimate, that you can say with confidence that these are the prices that you charge and that this is the work that you do. And so I think trying to really hone in on the aspects of who I am that makes me unique to someone else. That was incredible advice that I got from a job coach, is helping me identify what makes me special rather than me trying to compare myself. You know, I'm not the best technical photographer. I'm not the best with off-camera lighting, but what my ability to connect with the people that I'm photographing, I feel like I excel there. And so I would say leaning into the pieces of yourself that make you really special and unique. Yeah.
I do think that everyone's style is different and you could tell, but you are a unique person. What you bring to the world and your business is completely different than anybody else. And I have an identical twin and it's completely different what you bring to this world. It's one of those things where just lean into who you are.
Right.
I'm the crazy camera lady, according to my clients' kids, that wears a rainbow poop hat. Lean into it. During the pandemic, I was so afraid. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be wearing masks. They're not going to be able to see me smile. I bought $300 worth of silly hat.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kids didn't need it because they feed off energy. At that point, they're at the age where they just feed off like whether, you're a good energy. I did not need them, but I do love my rainbow hat. It's come out. But it only comes out at the end because kids will want to wear it. And like the kids wearing it. I do get requests for that hat. But yeah, but that's me, right? I'm the crazy person. I'm probably not going to be the same as someone serious. Just lean into who you are.
Right. That's all you got.
That's all I got. Sorry, kids. Yeah, that's all she wrote. You can call me Crazy Jane. And then the kids will not want to leave my shoot. They think it's like a play date. Can we see her again? But I'm wiped out after.
Right.
I go all in. We all do. But I'm just like, why God, please go. Just kidding. Speaking of funny shoots, worst shoot, do you have any fun stories to tell us and where you're like, I can't believe that. Can't believe I did that. Usually for me, it's can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
It's normally me being.
Well, something happened recently, actually. I was shooting 4 authors that had collaborated on a book. And so they needed some promotional pictures of the group. I had done a previous site visit. I had styled the location where they were going to be shot. It was a beautiful scene on a patio. I had one seated, one leaning. Everything was beautifully curated. And I was in the grass in front of them. So I was on the lawn by the patio. I had the whole scene painted, but I couldn't get them to sort of feel like they were looking natural, like looking like themselves. And so I was chatting and trying to get them to open up and let the guard down a little bit. And all of a sudden the sprinklers in the yard they popped up. And I'm thinking, okay, we could all hear them. I got like 15 seconds before these things start shooting. And so I just sat there with my shutter down and got that shot of them laughing at what was getting ready to happen. And my assistant was videotaping the whole thing. So we got me running in after like that 15, 20 seconds, running off the lawn with the sprinklers circulating. But it was a great shot. I finally got that vibe of that they were all just exactly who they are with those great smiles.
Now you need to just plan the timing of those shoots there at the sprinkler time. You're like, hey, can you tell them to turn on the sprinkler?
Right.
Because they're not laughing enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Then I get anxious of like, oh, your camera getting wet. Speaking of cameras, like what is your favorite camera?
I'm a Nikon girl. I started with Nikon and I kept wanting to potentially try Canon, but I had so much money in the glass that this is who I am. I'm a Nikon person. So about, 8 or 10 months ago, I got the Nikon Z6 II. So I went mirrorless and it's been great. Much of my shooting is in really low light situations. And so that has been super life-changing, that mirrorless switch. But yeah, and
it's lighter too, right?
It's noticeable. It's noticeable for sure. it's weird to get used to the fact that you're not hearing the shutter click. They actually have a beep that can give you. It's like driving a Tesla or something, or where you've got to turn on a sound because people can't hear it reverse. But yeah, that's what I shoot with.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a Canon, but again, it's like I have no shot on my friend's Nikon, and so, different Sonys, and they're just, I don't know, I'm not that picky. It's just I got the glass.
Right.
So, well, this has been absolutely amazing, and I loved chatting with you and all of your advice. And I just think that photographers could learn a lot about your story, and tell us how photographers and people listening can find you. We will put it in the show notes so you don't have to spell it. But
thank you so much. This has just been a delight, and I've appreciated talking with you. So it's pretty easy. They can find me at Tyler Cunningham Photography. That's my website. That's my Instagram, Facebook. So yeah, I love connecting, and I try and respond to anyone who wants to reach out. So I'd love to hear from folks.
Well, thanks again. This has been so fun. I just really, really, and now I got the sprinkler story.
That was so good. I'll have to send you the video.
Oh yeah. Do you have it on your Instagram?
No, so we haven't started. They had to do a soft launch of the book, and I had to wait to do any promotion until after that. And so, yeah, it'll go up there for sure.
Oh, I think that would be really, really great for that book launch. Just to be behind the scenes.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Free publicity.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ty.
Thank you so much, Jane. I appreciate you.